Donald Trump is panicking as China instantly swatted him down. Donald Trump threatened economic D-Day against Iran, and China, through its foreign ministry, responded right away and rejected Donald Trump's threats. The official statement from China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs is as follows. Sanctions and pressure tactics are not the solution. China calls on the parties to act responsibly and stick to the political and diplomatic approach. China is openly rejecting Trump's economic D-Day sanction threat, and they have told Chinese firms, do not comply with U.S. sanctions. This, as Trump's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent also reposted Donald Trump's economic D-Day threat against Iran, and Bessent writes, any remaining tie to Tehran will hasten a nation's economic oblivion, whether that tie be purposefully constructed or willfully ignored. Tough words there, Bessent, to which China said, yeah, we are purposefully constructing our rejection to you. We are not listening, and we've instructed our companies not to follow what you're saying. So at the latest Ministry of Foreign Affairs press conference, it was Bloomberg who asked China's foreign ministry spokesperson about economic D-Day, and that was the response that was given. So is Donald Trump going to give a tough response? No, Donald Trump's going to post AI memes of himself around midnight last night like this. The best press secretary. And it's Donald Trump as his own press secretary. Or he posts this weird AI image of the reflecting pool, which has just been totally destroyed by him. But this is an AI meme of it with apparently his silhouette in algae green. And then he posts some weird AI image of himself holding the Keystone Pipeline, and it says Keystone Pipeline completely free. Oh, I'm sure this is making Iran very, very nervous, Donald. I'm sure China's foreign ministry and China's President Xi Jinping look at this and go, oh my gosh, is he going to do more memes? Oh, and I bet you North Korea is terrified right now. Well, why would they be terrified? They're actually mocking you. You have attacked South Korea thinking South Korea would be terrified, but South Korea is like, actually, we don't want anything to do with you anymore, the United States. Thank you. See you later. We're going to meet with China. And then there was a meeting yesterday between Wang Yi, China's foreign minister, President Lee, South Korea's president, and South Korea's foreign minister. But in North Korea, they're mocking Donald Trump because Trump's like, Kim Jong-un wants to meet with me. We get along really well. And so I just want to make Kim Jong-un happy by ordering that the United States not conduct military exercises with South Korea. I talked to Kim Jong-un about this. Kim Jong-un's sister mocks Donald Trump's so-called goodwill gesture and says there are no plans for a summit, no plans to meet with Donald Trump. Pyongyang dismisses Donald Trump's claim he is in communication with Kim Jong-un. Kim Yo-jang, the sister of North Korea's leader, said the American president's reduction of the drills was not even worth commenting on, and Pyongyang found it completely uninteresting. Kim Yo-jang is actually one of the top leaders there, and she's Kim Jong-un's sister. She says it's just completely uninteresting, all of his posts. If Washington saw the scaling back of the drills as some kind of goodwill measure, she said, they will not get the answer they desire. She rejected Donald Trump's claim that he was communicating with Kim Jong-un, saying she was completely unaware of any such contact. By the way, China's foreign ministry was asked about this and was asked, did you hear anything about Donald Trump meeting with Kim Jong-un or anything like that? What is China's comment to this? To which China's foreign ministry basically said, we know nothing about this and we're not going to comment on it. This is U.S. President Donald Trump said yesterday he will meet with North Korea's leader later this year. According to a report by Wall Street Journal, he's considering having that meeting at the APEC summit in November, to which China's foreign ministry goes, on the meeting between them and the U.S. you just mentioned, between North Korea and the U.S. you just mentioned, I don't have any specific information. I will not comment on this. Well, what about this question? Regarding meetings between Foreign Minister Wang Yi, China's foreign minister, and his South Korean counterpart in South Korea, the Korean side is saying that Foreign Minister Wang Yi has said that China is actively considering a meeting between Xi Jinping and President Lee of South Korea on the sidelines of APEC in Shenzhen. I was wondering if you could confirm this meeting, to which China's foreign ministry spokesperson says, as the host country of this year's APEC economic leaders meeting, China stands ready to take this opportunity to work with all sides, including South Korea, to build an Asia-Pacific community and inject new impetus for peace and development in the Asia-Pacific and beyond. And so here you see yesterday, you have China's leaders and South Korea's leaders meeting, and Trump has now pushed Seoul, South Korea, into Beijing's waiting arms, as Josh Rogan explains. But according to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, when he was asked, so does the economic campaign, your D-Day against Iran, does it include China? Remember what Bessent said. Play this clip.
This regime.
Does it include China? Because that's the primary economic partner of Iran.
Again, many conversations are best to have in private, and we are confident that everyone wants the Strait reopened and for energy prices to come back down. And so keep in mind that the Chinese get 50%, 50, the other energy from inside, from the Gulf. So it would do them a big service to get with the program.
And then Bessent claimed that he didn't know why oil prices were going so high. You don't know? Because the Strait of Hormuz is closed, you idiot. Because the Red Sea is closed. Because the U.S. lost its catastrophic war in Iran, and you and Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and Hegseth and others are acting like we control the Strait of Hormuz when we don't, when Iran controls it. Listen to what Bessent says over here first. Play this clip.
Declining. We've got a spike in oil prices today that I don't really understand. You know, our announcement is for economic action, and I think that the economic action will mean that oil prices will come down sooner.
Now, J.D. Vance said the following when he was on regime media as well, when he was on Newsmax. He said, we actually do have a plan to get the economy growing faster than the debt. And he said, then he starts to blame Biden. Here, play this clip.
Even though the debt is too high, even though we inherited this debt bomb from the Biden administration, we actually do have a plan to get the economy growing faster than the debt. And that's the most important thing. The issue that we've had under the Biden administration and what we're still kind of dealing with is that the debt was growing faster than American GDP. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. That's something that we're certainly fixing every single day in the Trump administration. But you know, even though the media doesn't cover this, I'm glad you're asking this question because Scott Bessent is very much on top of it. He knows it's a problem, and he's got the president's empowerment to do something about it.
And J.D. Vance describes what's going on with Iran right now as something amazing. We have the ability to show something amazing is going on. But you're saying that this is amazing? What are you even talking about? Play this clip.
So realistically, and just real quick before I let you go, how long do you think Iran can survive with these economic pressures on them?
You know, it's always tough to predict that, and that's honestly not really our focus. They're under a ton of pressure. That pressure is conducive to our goal of ensuring they don't have a nuclear weapon. Whether they can survive a couple of weeks or a couple of months or possibly longer, so long as they don't have a nuclear weapon, that's what we're focused on. That's what the president, frankly, has already accomplished. We're just trying to ensure they don't try to rebuild that program, and that's going to require some consistent engagement. But again, if you look at just where this is today versus a few months ago, oil has come down substantially. Gas prices are down about 50 cents from their peak. We have shown an ability to do something amazing for our national security while also doing something that protects the economic interests of the American people.
Well, Mr. Vice President, I appreciate your time very much, sir.
Thanks, man. Take care.
You too.
And then J.D. Vance says that the point of economic D-Day is it's going to make Iran want to negotiate with the United States. I mean, this is the stupidest thinking. You think that by coercing Iran, they're going to go, please, United States, now we want to do a deal with you. It's predator logic, right? Trump's a sexual predator. He doesn't understand. No, it's a regime of predators. It's an Epstein-class regime. If they just do it more, do you think that Iran's going to submit? No, Iran's not going to submit. They said, no, they're not going to do a deal with you by doing it. You can either, there's kind of two choices right now. There's get the hell out of the region, which is what I think the U.S. should do. We should never have been involved in this catastrophic war. Or you escalate the war and you put ground troops in. You will cost the United States to lose hundreds of thousands, maybe more, of service members. It will have Russia, Ukraine-like casualty numbers. But that's your other option. Doing whatever you're doing here, fake blockades and real blockades, but claiming that you're going to destroy Iran, that the blockade is somehow destroying Iran. It isn't. And at some point, Iran's just going to strike its neighbors if it has to. And they know the United States is out of weapons. U.S. is out of interceptors. U.S. is out of offensive capabilities like the ATACMS HIMARS. We're out of Tomahawks. We're out of a lot of critical weapons. But here's what J.D. Vance says. Play this clip.
Straight down. And if we can, not even get it back to where it was before, but if we can get enough oil and gas out to give some Americans some ease at the pump, some ease on energy prices, meanwhile, the Iranians are punished for shooting at commercial ships, that just applies a lot of economic pressure to them. And that changes their calculus for, what kind of a deal they want to make, what kind of arrangement they want to have with the United States of America. Do they want to have their economy strangled for the rest of time? Or do they want to have a better relationship with the West? That's always been the option that the president has put to these guys. But if they're going to shoot at ships, they're going to engage in terrorism against commercial vessels, we're going to do everything that we can to make sure that they're not able to do that.
By the way, Kepler, which records these tank crossings and the amount of barrels actually leaving the Strait of Hormuz. So Kepler recorded 10.73 million barrels of west to east liquid tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz from August 14th to August 20th, which is an average of about 1.53 million barrels per day, which is a sharp contrast from the 10 million barrels per day figure that Axios claimed was actually happening. Barack repeated Axios. Remember, 2 days ago, it was like, the U.S. opened up a stealth route in Oman. They're doing 10 million barrels a day. And we're like, no, they aren't. We can see the tankers. Even when they turn off their radar and their transponders, they're big. They're VLCCs. They're very large. That's what they're called. They're very large. We can see them, and we know that that's not what's getting out. And we know that diesel's $5.50 nationwide, and probably in your state, it's approaching $7. Gas, $4 national average, highest in history at this point. But probably in your state, it's closer to $6. The crack spread, the delta between the crude price, which is getting very high now, right? Whether you're talking about Brent or WTI, you're talking about $94, $90 respectively, if you will. The price of diesel, we're talking close to $200 a barrel. The crack spread, about $102 a barrel. Not good. And it is causing massive economic strain here as well. And I'll just leave you with this too, right? As you have Donald Trump saying that North Korea is not posing a threat. North Korea is great. They've always been. South Korea is really posing the threat. The U.S. is the threat to North Korea, not the other way around. Well, this is Donald Trump's U.S. Pacific Command. This is the United States military statement yesterday. We are aware of the recent missile launches by North Korea is what they're referring to. And we are consulting closely with our allies and partners. Based on current assessments, these events do not pose an immediate threat to U.S. personnel or territory or to our allies. The United States remains committed to the defense of the U.S. homeland and our allies in the region, while South Korea condemned North Korea's launch yesterday, of more than 10 short-range ballistic missiles following the Trump essentially withdrawal or limitation of military drills between Seoul and Washington. But did you notice also that now U.S. Pacific Command is too scared to even say North Korea in their statement? Did you notice that? We're aware of recent missile launches. You're too scared. Just think about it. The mighty United States Pacificom, the mighty United States Navy in the Strait of Hormuz, has Trump bragging about being a pirate and doing pirate memes of himself over and over again. And then you have U.S. Pacificom too scared to even say that the missiles are coming from North Korea and saying that the ballistic missile tests don't pose any threat to our allies. Well, I guess you're right in the sense that the United States doesn't have allies anymore. Well done, Donald. In less than 2 years, you've destroyed the entire post-World War II security architecture created by the United States. You've never been a builder. You've always been a destroyer. And like your destruction of fine architecture in Manhattan, you destroyed the post-World War II world order architecture designed by the United States. And you didn't replace it with something stronger in terms of the United States. Let's be very clear. This is the rise of China, which was happening anyway, but this was put on fast forward quicker than China could ever have imagined in any of their planning. And this is the quickest decline of the U.S. standing in the world. Horrible, horrifying, sickening. It's who Donald Trump is, a lifelong loser. The last name Trump equals loser. That's what it is. Equals sexual predator, equals horrible other things, but also just a loser. WTF America is the book I wrote with my brothers. Get your copy. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate you so much. Thank you all so much. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million.
Hey, if you want the full story, how democracy got here and how we take it back, pre-order our new book, WTF America, today. Just scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Let's do this.